What is going on, Zinger Nation? Welcome back to After Hours. I'm your host, Ryan Rozbiani. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. As you folks know, this is a show that happens twice a week from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every week, hopefully, if I don't have jury duty, I'll be here to hang out with you. And I got dismissed from jury duty, so I'm very happy about that. So today we've got a lot to talk about. As you folks probably know, if you're a returning viewer to the show, thank you. And if you're a new viewer, welcome. We talk about the show in three parts. Part one, I go over the indices, SPY, QQQ. I include IWM for our penny stock fans, and I talk about Bitcoin. So those are the four. I know Bitcoin's not an indice, but it's an indice in my book. That's what I talk about in the first part of the show. Second part of the show, I go over some hot stocks that are happening today. Of course, we got to talk about Affirm. We got to talk about Moderna. We got to talk about Robinhood. Kathy Wood got really lucky, and Apple. We're talking about all those in part three. My favorite part of the show. That's where I get to interact with you all who are watching the show, which means you get to drop a ticker into the chat. You hit the like button, and I go over the chart with you. So without further ado, let's get started. We got a lot to talk about. I see a lot of returning viewers coming back in. Jadid, Ronnie, Larry, Jeff, what is going on? Welcome back. Larry's telling me AMC with, I guess that's a blushing face. We'll talk about AMC too, because we cannot get away from AMC, and we don't want to. We want to see what happens. We want to see how that story goes, as our buddy Money Mitch says. So let's jump right into it. Let's start off with SPY. SPY is the S&P 500, if you're not familiar with them, and let's see how it did today. Again, I tweeted about this last night. I've been talking about this for a while. SPY has just been flat. If you look at it here, this thing has been flat for now the past 8 consecutive trading days. Flat, not because it's just been flat, but it's essentially been trading in a box right here. Take a look at this. It's gone to a low of, 136 to a high of 141. It does not want to go over 141. It just rejects it. It's just how that's kind of been trading for this this time period. I do want to add some Fibonacci retracement levels here on it. I do have some trouble when it comes to using TradingView for this right now, but that's okay. I have to kind of retune it. I messed up a lot of my tuning that I had. I reset my settings, but that's on me. But we'll be talking about, by the way, if anyone's watching this program right now, and if you're curious what this amazing, beautiful platform that I'm using here is, this is the Benzinga Pro tool. It's a very, very good tool, especially if you're in the penny stock world. If you watch news, you need to have this. This is literally, I'm telling you, this is the best, most affordable tool you can get for news that I use personally. Look, you can make a watch list. You can connect your news feeds to it. You've got a raw news feed that comes in. They got a brand new advanced news feed that comes in. And I have a deal for you. I went to the Benzinga guys and I said, hey, look, we got some very, very great viewers on the show. I love them. I think they're fantastic. I want to get them a promo code. I want to get them a cheaper rate. I said, I want to make a deal with you. The art of the Benzinga deal, I guess. I don't know. That was a terrible analogy. I apologize if I offended anyone with that one. And I said, hey, look, they said, this is what we could do for you, Ryan. They said, Ryan, have them go to ryanstocks.com, linked in the description. Let me put up my little advisory banner. Go to ryanstocks.com in the description. Have them click on your link and use promo code RyanR. RyanR. It's in the description, I believe. If you use promo code RyanR, you get 30% off for life. There is no other promo code on the planet that Benzinga is giving out that does this for life. 30% off infinitesimally. Thanos can snap his fingers, you'll still have 30% off. Just want to let you know about that on the top of the show. So if you want the platform, you like it, you could definitely do that. It's got TradeView built into it. You've got news, a lot of great stuff. And I do have a video on my YouTube channel where I review it. So enough about that. Let's continue to look at SPY. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the raw. I'm going to jump into Webull for my charting, because what we did last time was we drew so much stuff in Webull. I don't want to go back and forth and redraw everything again. That's why I reset my Benzingas, because I wanted that one to be raw so we can kind of see the raw chart before we go on. But if you take a look here, this thing's essentially respecting the Fibonacci extension that we drew many, many months ago now. I know a lot of you are probably wondering, Ryan, you talk about this gap in the chart. When do we see that gap get filled? I don't know. At this rate, the fact that we're in the 440s, this gap is in 400 to 403, scares me to think about the idea of ever going back and filling that gap because of how volatile that gap would be. That would mean a massive drop for SPY. Now, could it happen? Will it happen? I don't know. I can't see the future. If I could, we'd all be rich, right? But we'll play it by ear. Right now, I'm just being very, very cautious with how I operate in the world of stocks. So SPY, as you see here, taking it, got a little bit dangerous here, came to 436. If we break 436, we break the support level, we could see 433 or 430. We can come in and fill this little area here. Keep that in mind. We'll be chugging along. Let's go to QQQ next. Investico, QQQ parallels the NASDAQ. Take a look at this. Similar. Straight trading in a box from 362 to 369. Come on. Hilarious, right? Hilarious. We got the 52-week high, just 11 cents short of 369, which is quite funny. But again, trading in a box, we're keeping our eyes on it. We're making sure that we see what's going on with QQQ. That's there. IWM, if you're in the penny stock world and you're not watching IWM, you're doing yourself a huge disservice, because that means that you're not taking a look at where the overall penny stock market indices are going. That's how I'm approaching this. If IWM is doing good, I go heavier in the penny stock world. If IWM is doing bad, I avoid the penny stocks. I get scalpy with my penny stocks. So keep that in mind as you're trading and playing these stocks. So you see here, this is a pattern that I drew many, many months back now. It's not months back now, excuse me. It's about a few weeks back now. We can go to the weekly chart to get a better idea of how long ago it was. I drew about 4 weeks ago, where we thought we were going to have small cap summer. It was going to be beautiful, but we broke outside of this wedge. We came out of it. It got quite ugly, and now we're trying to fight back and break into it. Let me go back to the daily chart. Now we're trying to fight back and break into it, but it's rejecting. This line, which used to be support, has now become resistance. That's not a great sign, unfortunately. But we have to see how this plays out. We want to make sure that our good old SPY will do what we need it to do and get to where we need it to go with IWM and all these. But again, I don't think the summer's over yet. I don't think penny stocks are over yet. You have to be very selective with your penny stocks. It's not like you could just throw money at anything and it just keeps moving. IWM is reflecting that, so be very careful. Last but certainly not least, I know a lot of fans of this show, of this network, love to talk about Bitcoin and Bitcoin stocks. I know there's a lot of fans of SOS, Mara, Riot, Hut 8 Mining, Bitfarms, what is the other one? The new big one, SPRT, support, I call it. They all move off of our friend Bitcoin here. So I need to watch Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is very, very interesting. We have a Bitcoin support level that we had here that kind of broke. Essentially, I just want to make sure I'm on the right daily chart. I want to make sure everything's looking good. Okay. So this kind of the support area that we had here around 39.5 broke. The 39 point kind of this, what is this? The low of 38.3 broke, which brought us back down to the 37s for like very slight. We got very close, 37.5 area. It bounced there. It's kind of bouncing. We can go to something like a 1 hour chart to get a better idea of how things went. We had a massive run up, consolidation, and now it's kind of breaking down. Again, not bad, but not great. But it doesn't worry me, because take a look at the grand scheme of things and where we are now. We were trading sideways for so long. We got a nice little spurt back up. It's okay. Allow it to consolidate. Just can't go straight up. Stocks, Bitcoin, your favorite altcoins, nothing can just go straight up. It will cause a crash. You will fall. It will hurt. It will get ugly. That being said, we are done with the first part of the show, folks. Let's go to part two, where I talk about some of your favorite stocks. We're going to start off with AMC. Let's talk about it. Okay, AMC is having a rough day. All right, AMC is having a rough day. I have not been paying attention to this stock. We talk about it on the stream now and then, but again, we haven't been paying too much attention about AMC lately because it's been weird, unfortunately. So I'm going to Bollinger Bands, we'll keep them on. We'll keep the Fibonacci's on. Okay, so you know what? I'll turn off Fibonacci just because, okay, I see Spencer looks like he's trying to jump back in. We're having some tech. So I'm going to just delete that for a second so you kind of keep your eye here. We had some semblance of support here around the 35.5. We have some resistance here around the $64, $65 area. Let me just double check. Here, essentially around the $65 area. So keeping that in mind, we wanted to get back inside of this box, which we did. We came to this area right here. It bounced right off the Bollinger Band. We had a fantastic day, 25% jump for AMC. It started to go up. We had a little bit of a kind of like not a consolidation, but it kind of gave up a little bit of the gains. We're like, okay, that's fine. You have a 25% day. It's normal for a stock to kind of cool off a little bit there. We had a nice little jump again, another 9% day. Fantastic. You have to realize that AMC is a 500 million float stock, which means it takes a lot of volume to get it to go up in such high spurts. And it's doing it. It's did its thing. So it held the support. And it looks like today, for the first time in a while, we closed essentially below this 35.5 area. After hours, it's getting a little bit juicy. It's trying to move up a little bit in the after hours, but it's not, just doesn't have it. the volume just doesn't look like it's there today. We had 61 mil volume yesterday. We had 58, 52. If you look at it, the 70 mil volume days, almost 100 mil volume days, the 167 mil volume days, those are the days where the volume is there. The stock reflects the movement there and it does its thing. But we'll have to see. We can see tomorrow it come down and touch the bottom of the Bollinger Band around 30s and then make a bounce back up like it did here, or it could begin its descent. As I've always promised you on this channel, on this show, I will give you my 100% my unbiased opinion on stocks. That's who I am. This show and this network has always given me the creative freedom to be able to speak the truth, and that's what I'm doing with you today. I'm giving you all the scenarios and laying it out for you as to how I see things that could play out. I think we come down to 30, and then we begin to bounce. That's how I think it goes. Now, could we keep going back up? Definitely, but you have to also keep an eye on this little area right here. This is the mean of your Bollinger Band. It's the line in the middle. It's your 20 moving average. It's acting as resistance. Take a look at this. Resistance point here, resistance point here, resistance point here. You need to get above the $39 area in order for this stock to be able to continue to move up. That's just the name of the game. That's just how it is. By the way, I know a lot of you are watching this show. A lot of you are viewing this. If you want to learn how to do this type of technical analysis, I provide this via my Patreon. If you go to ryanstocks.com, I'll show you. If you go to ryanstocks.com, again, it's not like a random site. ryanstocks.com, you click on this tile right here. It will take you to my Patreon. If you sign up for the Tesla or Google tier, you get access to my course for free with technical analysis teachings, teaching you how to read charts, as well as the psychology of trading and money, where I teach you about the psychology of trading, which is way more important than technical analysis. Believe it or not, a lot of people overlook the psychology of trading. That's why they begin to lose. You need to get into the right psychological mindset in order to trade, invest, scalp, play options, whatever you want. That's provided there. Again, I want to show you guys just one more time. You can go to ryanstocks.com, linked in the description. You click on this tile, you sign up, you'll get access to it. And if you don't want to sign up for the Tesla and Square and the Tesla and Google tier, the Square tier comes with watch lists for stocks, options, a lot of great stuff. Access to my private Discord, where there's only 200 people in there at a time. We do not let it get bigger than that because we want to be able to interact with you one-on-one. If you have any questions to learn, we do scalp trading in there. We have a lot of fun. We make a lot of money and we have fun and we learn and we grow together. That being said, eyes are on AMC. I'll definitely review it again on Thursday and we'll definitely talk about it. So Tiny Pie is saying GME had a strange day too. So I'll take a look at GME as well. It's been a minute since we've looked at GameStop. GameStop has been essentially on a steady decline, unfortunately. That's just how it is. They need to announce something because it's moving without news. It was moving up on hype. We had the second wave of jump based off of the NFT website, which we discussed on this channel several times now, so I won't dive too much into it, but they need to tell us what their deal is. What is going on with the NFT situation? Where are we going next? By the way, whenever I take out my headphones, I always feel so much more comfortable talking to you all. It's a little bit weird because there's no one in my ear talking. There's no reason for me to have it in. In the beginning of the show, I have the producer on with me. Spencer is on, or Aaron's on, or another producer's on to get me going, but I always have to take it out and like, oh, I feel like I just got out of an airplane. I don't know how to, like, I decompress, like the pressure is out. I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like 10 times better. So I'm just going to take a sip of my tea real quick. Any tea drinkers, by the way, in the chat? I'm a coffee fanatic. You've seen my coffee mug. It's filled with water today because I'm trying to stay hydrated. But any coffee drinkers, tea drinkers, let me know what you think. We'll talk about Starbucks too because Starbucks got interesting. But yeah, so GameStop, look, steady decline, ripped the 50% on the Fibonacci. Just dropped. Look at this massive red candle, destroyed it 27% down. It is a low float stock. This is what everyone forgets. It's a low float stock. It fluxes up and down fairly quickly. We've seen that in the past. Take a look at, if you go kind of sideways, you've seen these massive gaps up and gap downs. The big move days that GameStop has had, it's not doing well. It's not looking like a healthy chart, and you've ripped now below the 0% essentially of where your lowest point was. It's not looking so great. Chris is saying Texas tea. Larry's saying caramel. Joe is saying tea all day. Robert says black gold. I like it. I love 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 it. Awesome. Perfect. I thought I was the only one here that drinks tea. But yeah, GameStop, look. Not looking pretty. Look, you have to, these are momentum stocks. I'm not going to call them meme stock because I feel that's insulting. I call them momentum stocks. In order to have momentum, you need to have news. You need to have catalysts. You need to have energy. You need to have something that takes the stock to the next level. And right now, it's not there for GameStop. AMC is very lucky. AMC has new movies coming out every single week. It has that momentum. Those numbers come out. You get a little bit of juice. GameStop doesn't have anything yet. We need that to come back into GameStop, and then we can get going. By the way, folks, I want to remind you to please do me a favor and smash that like button. If you guys smash that like button, it would mean the world to me. That's all I ask. We're doing a program here. We're having a lot of fun. I'm interacting with you. Do me a favor, smash the like button. Next, I'm going to go to Affirm, AFRM. Now, remember I told you folks about Benzinga Pro. Shout out to my desktop. It is actually quite clean. Now take a look at this. Quite clean of a desktop. Shout out to me. I cleaned it up a little bit now. It's not the best desktop in the world, but it's cleanish. It's clean-ish. Now, this is the problem. This is what happens when you reset all of your settings on TradeView. It kind of gets a little bit screwy. So let's go to Affirm. I want to talk to you about what happened today. Chris says, "Has anyone tried the free popcorn AMC?" You have to be like an AMC member as well as a shareholder. So that was really, really weird. From what I hear, like people tried to go get it, but AFRM, I believe that's the ticker. There it is. Affirm Holdings. It looks like they're having a good day. The company, see, this is the thing about Benzinga Pro that I told you. Again, you can get it for 30% off for life. If you click here, you sign up with my promo code RyanR, 30% off for life. For life. No one has that kind of promo code. They gave it to me because you guys are so awesome. They wanted to help me give back to the fantastic audience we have here. Here, Affirm shares are trading higher following a Bloomberg report indicating that Apple and the company plan to launch a buy now, pay later program for their Apple devices purchases in Canada. Now, I don't see the kind of the oh my God moment here for Affirm because it's essentially loans. So for those who aren't familiar with Affirm, I can take you to their website. AFFIRM, Affirm. They already have deals with like Samsung. They're kind of like loans. You're kind of like loaning it out to you and then you pay monthly. They have that kind of stuff for anything essentially, right? Like you get really good rates, which is great. Like Walmart does it. I don't want to call it layaway, but it's kind of like a layaway style thing here. Like you can hit shop. I don't want to sign up accidentally for an Affirm loan just to show it. I'm not gonna buy freaking Peloton, but like you can see here, like you can shop a bike. Let me show you. We'll run through an example together. I want you all to see it because it's not like that. Oh my, wow, Pelotons are expensive. I thought they were much cheaper, but ugly. Order today. Here you go. So as low as $49 a month for 39 months at 0% APR, and you can pre-qualify now, which essentially it's a loan for essentially they're fronting you the money up front and 0% APR. Now, this is where things get a little bit funky for me because it's 0%, but if we do 49 times 39, that's 911. The company is really making no money on this loan. $18.95. They're making $16 on this loan. They're giving you all this money for 39 months. They're making $16 in hopes that you don't pay 1 month and they could charge you a fee or something. I'm not crazy about this business model. I'm not crazy about it. Affirm is just not my cup of tea. And I'm not sure why this is such a big deal because it's only in Canada. It's a subdivision. If it was all around the US, that'd be fantastic. But so many cell phone companies are already doing this for cell phones, right? Like T-Mobile does it, Verizon does it, AT&T does it. You can pay monthly for your phone. So I don't know why this is such a hot commodity big deal that's happening. So I'm not shocked at it's just I think people think that Apple's going to come in and buy Affirm. Everyone's like, Apple's going to buy Affirm and then it's going to go to the moon and then we're all going to be billionaires. That's not how it works. Apple would have bought Affirm straight up if they wanted that, but Apple doesn't need that. They have enough cash so they can make their own Affirm. They've got billions of dollars in cash. So it's interesting. How much did Affirm move today? 3% for, am I on the daily chart? Yep. So 3% today, which I don't know why everyone's freaking out over a 3% move. So I don't know. This isn't I don't know why it's such a hot commodity today, Affirm, but we'll have to see. Yeah. See, AJ saying the same thing. All companies do it. 29 billion Square acquisition. Is Square buying Affirm? Square's buying somebody. Square's buying somebody. Alpay or something like that. We can go to Square now. That's why, like, this is, again, I'm not just trying to toot my own horn or promo you. This is why I like Benzinga. I could just jump through and find the news. Other places don't have this kind of fast. Speed is key with Benzinga. That's the thing. Like with CCIB and Lucid News was finally confirmed. It came through Benzinga before it came through the Bloomberg terminal. For me, at least. Plans to upgrade. Apple's rolling out buy now later in Canada. here announces a big push into buy now, pay later payments for consumers with its acquisition of Afterpay. Okay, so Afterpay is being bought by Square. Interesting. I'm really curious. I don't know how Afterpay works. And then Apple has wasted no time taking in Square's thunder after the announcement with the Affirm. Okay, that's fine. It's just a partnership. It's not a big deal. Afterpay, I don't know them, so let's Google them. Afterpay looks like a parallel one. It looks like they're out of Australia, if I read that correctly. Yep, Australian fintech company. I don't know why I'm looking at clothing. That wouldn't. I want to see a parallel thing in kind of like workout gear. Okay, cool. Can we find? I don't know. What's the closest thing to a Peloton? A Pilates wheel, maybe. Okay, that's not working. Base blocks. Is this working? Small business, black-owned business, now and then. Let me see Peloton. See if I can Google Peloton. It doesn't even come up. See, they don't work with Peloton. So look, this is like the closest thing, I guess. Let's do shop now. Let's see what Afterpay does for these guys. $300 for a bar. Okay, interesting. Let's go to checkout. I hope it doesn't ask me for information before. Yeah, it's going to ask me for information. It's not going to do the Affirm thing, Afterpay, whatever for me. But yeah, it's just like another alternative to Afterpay. These buy now, pay laters. Remember layaway back in the day at Walmart? Like you'd see like commercials like, "Hey, layaway, you want to buy something for Christmas? Come now, and you can pay us later down the monthly or whatever, however that works." So that's the thing that's out there. It's a business model. It does its thing. Nothing too crazy. I want to talk about Robinhood next. Robinhood got very juicy today. Kathy Wood got very lucky today. Look at that beautiful green candle. I feel like an idiot not buying here, but it is what it is. We don't know if this is going to hold, yada, yada, yada. But holy cannoli, this thing just ripped. It just ripped. And why did it rip? I don't know. Let's see why it ripped. Robinhood shares are trading higher post IPO volatility. Okay. But we know that a ton of the insiders sold out. I think that the fear is now gone. The fear of, hey, the insiders are going to sell. The insiders sold. We saw Vlad sold. I don't know how to say that gentleman's name. I don't know how to say that person's name. I don't know how to say most of their names. I can't pronounce. Jason sold. Gretchen sold. Daniel, Arapon. So these folks sold. So, for example, if we look at Vlad's, he sold a ton. He sold a ton of shares. And he still has a bunch left, but he sold a ton of shares. But yeah, that's got to suck for them. I think it could be like a retail screw you Robinhood style situation where it's like we're going to buy the shares now that you sold so we could run it up and you could feel bad for paper handing. I'm thinking of setting up shorts. I don't know what you're talking about, Chris, but it's interesting. It's quite interesting what's happening here with the Robinhood. I don't think that these levels will hold for long. I don't think this is a company that goes to the moon. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. If you bought, I hope I'm wrong. But I just feel like when their next quarter numbers come out, we will return back to IPO levels. That's kind of just how like we've seen a lot of these companies play out. We can look at Bumble. It operated in a very similar pattern. Essentially, like, hey, see, look. IPO to the moon, a few days later to the moon, and then back down right on earnings. They had an earnings here that killed them, dragged them down. Another earnings dragged them down. Now they're sort of starting to recover. But you can see it gives you a lot of time to enter these IPOs because lockups happen, a lot of different things happen. We can go there. I want to talk about Lucid next. Take a look at Lucid. Lucid's having a difficult day as well, down about a point and 0.68 in the 0.8 and 0.68 in the after hours. So it's slowly declining. As we can see here, hit the top of the Bollinger Band, and slowly every single day just shedding off a little bit. Had a flat day. The past 2 days were flat, and then had a sort of a flattish red day today. But we'll have to see. It's holding very nicely compared to what I thought would happen post for a SPAC despacking. I thought it would fall, but again, we're never perfect with these SPACs. We never know what happens exactly, but things happen. They either go very well or they either go very bad, but we'll have to see. It's going pretty good right now. I'm happy for the Lucid family. I do want to buy more Lucid shares eventually. Just not right now. I'm not confident enough right now in the stock market overall to buy commons of any company. But that's Lucid. Let's go to MRNA, Moderna. Moderna is being added to the S&P 500. It's just going, which scares me. If I was a shareholder, I'd definitely start taking some profits weeks ago because let's be real. We've seen what happens to these companies. Yeah, listen to Paulina, by the way. Hit that like button. What are you folks doing? There's 125 of you amazing people. The like button is absolutely free. Hit it. Just show the algorithm that you like what you're watching. We're having fun. And then, by the way, my favorite part of the show is coming up in 2 minutes, where I get to interact with you and go over your stocks. And we can't do that unless you guys hit the like button. So let's do it. Let's make it happen. We only have, what is this, 26 likes? Get us to 30, 40, 50 likes. Get us up there. You guys are awesome. Let's do it. But Moderna, I don't like this kind of movement here. It's making me itch to buy some puts because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me because I know that they're being added to the S&P 500. I know we've had the Rona situation coming back up. It's getting hot again. Everyone's talking about it. But to me, it's like, I get it. It's happening again, like the whole situation. But we've seen what happens to S&P 500 additions. Take a look at Penn. And National said that, hey, we're adding you to the S&P 500. Massive move up, massive move down, returns back to its original pre-S&P 500 addition levels. That's just how it works. That's just how additions to the S&P 500 work. Take a look at Tesla if you don't believe me. Tesla had two massive catalysts back to back, split S&P 500 addition, and still came crashing down. Take a look at this. Pre-S&P, this was the split, and then the S&P 500 addition, and then the post-S&P 500, you came back down essentially very close to your pre-S&P 500. You keep some of your gains, but you surrender most of your gains. So keep that in mind for sure. I'm going to delete these drawings on Tesla. They're quite old right now. But Tesla's having, speaking of, we haven't talked about Tesla in this channel, I don't think ever. That's a lie. That's a huge lie. I just lied to you all tremendously, and I apologize. We've definitely talked about Tesla in the past. But we don't talk about it enough. We don't talk about it enough, and I want to talk about it more because selfishly, I want to talk about it more because I like Tesla. But I want to see some Tesla bulls and bears in the chat. Let me know what you folks think about Tesla while I struggle to fix my Fibonacci levels. Yeah, let me know what you folks think in the chat about Tesla. But yeah, take a look at this. I can turn on Bollinger Bands again. Tesla ripped. Tesla finally is trying to go back for that 724 area to go back into a positive reversal. Larry says MRNA puts in the morning. They're expensive, Larry. They're very expensive. Let me show you let me show you how expensive. They're like in the thousands of dollars, the puts. I'm not logged in, right? Okay. So look, take a look here. If you wanted to buy puts, let's say you'd have to go relatively far out. Oh, they're not. Look at this. Oh, the in the monies. No, they're expensive. Look at this. That is not a cheap put. Remember, with puts, you have to multiply them by 100. Those are expensive. These are very expensive. So let's see the delta on them. These are expensive. These are very expensive. No, I wouldn't play. The volatility is too much right now. With the movement of the stock, it's too high up. I'm surprised at how expensive they are, but I understand it because I imagine the open interest on them is quite high. Let me just go back to the September 10th ones that I was looking at. I don't have any open interest data. I guess maybe it's because I'm not logged in. Open interest is low, which something's going on. I don't like it. I wouldn't touch it right now. It's too expensive, too risky. Those are thousands of dollars. OP says they're a test linear. ER Moderna tomorrow. Earnings report Moderna. Interesting. They got earnings coming up tomorrow. Let's go to Benzinga to see what the estimates are. Sometimes we get nice little estimates here on Benzinga. Former director bought 10%. It looks like we had some insider buying at, wow. Look at that. 1.87 million shares, 500,000 shares. Where's JC? I don't know code C and code J. Let's see. I think they're probably shares that are preferred shares or something like that, but it doesn't matter. Someone bought a ton of shares. That's all that matters, right? Let's see. MRNA. Moderna is in 2 days. Conference call is scheduled for 2 days. Earnings are scheduled in 2 days from now, August 5th, before market open. So you'd have to hold the calls or puts or whatever you want overnight, which we all know is quite risky. So be very careful with that. Be very careful with Moderna. It can get quite ugly quite fast. Hit the like button. Let's get this. If we get this video to 50 likes, we'll go to part 3. So we need 11 more likes. There are 139 of you in here. Ignite that like button. Hit it. Set it on fire. Let's have some fun with the like button and make me happy a little bit. We just need a few more likes and we can go to your stocks next. Hope he's a Tesla in your air. Okay, Matt. I think that's a bull. I think that's a bull. Chris says they're back holding Tesla. OP Tesla saves my life. Okay, cool. That's interesting. I'd love to hear that story. Hey Ryan, can you go back to SPY? I'm not seeing the downward trend you were displaying. Not downward trend, flat, not downward, flat. Let me show you. SPY, it's flat, not downward. The auto button. See this? It's essentially trading sideways for the past 8 trading days between 436 and 441. It doesn't want to go over 441. It tried to on this day on the 29th, was rejected. I think what's happening here is we're going to have some sort of a sell and use situation with the infrastructure bill if it passes, when it passes. I think it's when, not an if, because it's got bipartisan support. So I think that's what's going on here. People have a lot of fear. If you look at into the close for Tesla, excuse me, for SPY, you see a bit of red every day into the close. So into open and into close, you see some red during the day. It does fairly well. Go back another day, see this? Does fairly well, but came down that day. But you can't really, it's so hard to map it. So because SPY isn't one stock, SPY is the S&P 500. It's an ETF, a combination of so many stocks, with Apple being its largest holding, Tesla's in there, Microsoft, Google, A and B shares are in there. So you have to be very, very on your toes with this one. This is a fun one to scalp, though, if you can figure out how to scalp options and stuff, which we teach and signal in the Discord, in the private Patreon. By the way, one more time, I want to show you, if you want access to that, not through a firm or Peloton's website, you go to ryanstocks.com, linked in the description. You click on the second tile. It takes you to our Patreon. You sign up there, depending on what tier you sign up, read it, see what tier is best for you. Sign up. If you want to learn how to do technical analysis, the Tesla and Google tier are for you. It provides you with course videos that I've created myself personally that are so easy to understand, so straightforward to learn how to do technical analysis. And you can sign up there and you get connected to our private Discord where all the signaling and all this stuff happens. And if you're not Patreon, if you're not Discord savvy, don't worry. Do not worry one bit, because all the posts are posted on Patreon for swing trades and all that stuff. Watch list, all that stuff goes there. So we'll definitely have to see. Okay, so I hope that answered the question, Christopher. I'm sorry. Someone said. Okay, so okay, cool. Gig in the city, I guess that's your name. Said they understood now. I think EVGO bounces back tomorrow. We'll have to see. Let me see if we hit the number of likes to get. Okay, we hit 50 likes. Let's go. Let's do some of your stocks. Okay. Nicole Harris says, OMG, Hood keeps running. Yeah, Hood is slaughtering. It makes no sense whatsoever why Hood is running so hard. I don't trust it one bit. I just want options to open up so I can buy some juicy puts and make some print some tendies on some Hood calls or puts. I don't get emotional. I don't care if they're going up or down. All right, Larry, we did not do DraftKings. We're just starting, but we'll start with DraftKings for you, my friend, DKNG. DraftKings. Okay, DraftKings is interesting. Look at this. DraftKings is sitting on the mean, on the 20 moving average. If you lose the mean, you'll probably come down to the bottom of the Bollinger Band. You do have some support here around 46.59. If that kind of if that breaks, you come to the bottom of the Bollinger Band. I think if this holds, which is quite interesting because it's sitting on a Fibonacci level as well, you could probably have hope if volume comes in, if good news comes in, for it to scale back up. If not, you're coming back down essentially to the $44 area. So be very careful with that one. All right. Let's see. GG says, is that a stock? I'll take a look at it. Let's see. GG. Gaming innovation. Okay, this is delisted. I think I can't do much with that. I'm sorry. Yeah, no options on Hood yet, unfortunately. FLGT. Let's see. Genetics. You guys love biostocks. Okay, this is healthcare and equipment. I take it back. Biostocks, I'm garbage at. I can't for the life of me understand them. I don't like them. I'm garbage at them. So I avoid them. You got to avoid what you're not good at. Look, avoid what you're not good at, or find what you're good at, and there's a better way of saying it, and stick to that. You don't need to be a jack of all trades, and then you'll end up being a master of none. Don't do that, because that'll get you nowhere, and especially in stocks, at least. Pick a sector, pick something you like, play those, learn all the other sectors, and then cycle. You're doing fantastic. You're ripping through highs. You're doing very well. The stock is killing it. You're essentially approaching a resistance area that I'm seeing here around, what is this, the 104.75. So 104 is your resistance, which is probably met in the past here around 103. So you're being met with the resistance, and that's okay because your stock was ripping. So You're seeing a decline here in after hours. You're seeing a bit of a drop during the day. You had an 8% day. It's a very low float stock, 20 million float, which is nothing. So if you're in it, if you add it, I would always, this is what I say to everyone, again, not financial advice, but scale out on the way up. Scale in and scale out on the way up, because you don't know, you could have hit resistance here and it could have rejected it. You could have hit resistance here and it rejected it, but you got lucky and it kept going. But if you sell on the way up, you sell on this candle, this candle, this candle, this candle, this candle, this candle, you'll have some to play with, of course, but we'll see how it is. FGLT says 120 easy. I don't know. It doesn't look so easy right now. Doesn't look so easy right now. You need some news. You need something to get it going. What's in store for Q? Okay, so you have Q2 earnings coming up as well. So remember, be cautious. That's all I will say. All right. Let's see. What is next? What is next? Yeah, earnings are on Friday for DKNG, Larry. I'm in DKNG, full disclosure. What are your thoughts on UPS? Interesting. UPS is one that I like to look at around the holidays. Is a UPS stock. I see it gap down. I see it's kind of bottoming out and kind of building support on this area. This thing gapped down ugly. It was an ugly gap down, but you built support essentially on the 188 area. It's slowly making its way back up. It's a higher float stock. It's going to take some juice. I'd wait for some action. I'd like to see it regain more support before entering it again for the move up to the 200s. But if you like it, scale in. UPS isn't one that I play around this time of the year. I wait for closer to the holidays, November, December. That's when I play UPS more heavily. Steel X infrastructure bill play, decent, not fantastic movement. I went over this during my live stream on my YouTube channel. By the way, I do have a YouTube channel myself if you'd like to subscribe. It's on ryanstocks.com. I do live streams there. It's much smaller, so I can address your questions much faster on those streams, because we don't have 100,000, 118,000 subscribers there yet. We'll get there one day, but we don't have any yet. But if you'd like to, you can. I'd really appreciate it if you go there and subscribe. We're very close to 4,000 subscribers. It'd be really cool if we could hit that. So it looks like with steel, you hit the top of the Bollinger Band. It's rejecting it now. You broke above the Bollinger Band for 2 days, essentially. Now it's kind of calming down. It's okay. It needs to calm down. That's how things work. But you're getting a second kind of breath of wave of whatever you want to call it, second wind, excuse me, because the stock is moving on the infrastructure bill news. It wants the infrastructure bill. It will do very well for this stock. So that's what's happening here. But be very careful. The closer you get to the top of the Bollinger Band, the riskier everything gets. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind for sure. I forgot to click on it, Saeed. Sorry about that. Larry says UAL puts. Larry, let's see why you want UAL puts. I see it. I see it here. Okay, so I would have loved to buy the puts up here. That way you'd be essentially caking right now. But it looks like we hit the mid line of the Bollinger Band. We came down. Now, this is the thing here. It's very risky to add puts here, because what could happen is there's two things that happen here. One, you bounce back and you retest the mean line, and you can break above the mean line and go up higher. Or two, you go to the mean line and you reject it and you come down lower. Or three, you ride the Bollinger Band down. So if you look here, this is an example of a stock hitting the mean, rejecting it, and riding the Bollinger Band down. This is fantastic for puts. But this right here, if you added puts here in hopes that it would just keep gapping down and keep going lower and lower, you'd get kind of toasted. Take a look at this. You're like, oh, cool, we're going to come down to $40. Not really. It's hard when you ride down a Bollinger Band and you rip through a Bollinger Band, especially, you increase your risk of a bounce. So this would be where I'd add calls, actually. If you rip above a Bollinger Band, that's where I add puts. If you rip below a Bollinger Band, that's where I add calls. But I scale in case it's rejected and just rides the thing up or rides the thing down. So here, clean example, I'd be waiting for these 2 days here. I'd see my first red candle. I'd add some puts here. I'd add some more puts here. Then you might be saying, this is a green candle. I'm sorry, calls. Excuse me, not puts. Calls. You'd add some calls on these, not puts. Because, again, you rip through the bottom, you add puts. You add calls. Wow, I'm screwing up today. Rip through the bottom, add puts. Add call. Wow, I keep screwing. I apologize. I'm having one of those days. But this is interesting. I thought they had bad earnings. I don't like it when they don't have this number up here. They've got good. The revenue went up. I wanted to see their cash flow, but it looks like the numbers weren't inputted yet. But yeah, I'm sorry about my mouthfeel just there. So again, you rip through the bottom, you add calls. You rip through the top, you add puts. Again, not confirmed, not financial advice, but again, you know what I mean. Kadir says BNTX. BNTX. The stocks without vowels are usually bio stocks. That's what I found. Look at this. Wow, beautiful. You see this? This is another example. Look, it's riding up. Here you ripped above, but let's say you added puts here, you'd be in trouble right now because it's riding the Bollinger Band up. This is what's happening here. So it's never confirmed that if it rips above, oh, it's coming down. If it rips below, oh, it's gonna come back up. So keep that in mind. You can ride bands up, and that's where you get burned on options. So keep that in mind. Be very careful. You want to see signs of weakness happening, getting close here, breaking. That's when you want to kind of play options in this. But now this is doing its thing. It's a lower, not a low float, but it's doing its thing. Is Btnx? Is this the one that last summer just ripped? It was like $2. Yeah, see, this was like a $12 stock and just ripped to the hundreds. Now it's like a $300 stock. Interesting, very interesting. I don't know anything about them, but it's going up. Why it's going up, I don't know. CDC delivers doses of vaccine by okay. I don't know what these guys do. Looks like they're a COVID-related stock. That might be what's the reasoning for that one. But yeah, Kadir, the more you ride the Bollinger Band up, you also get quite risky. Also, if you look, the mouth of your bands are very, very separated right now. The more separated they are, the more volatile you are. So be very careful. Okay, so I'm gonna scroll up a bit. There's a few stocks that came in a little bit earlier. I think EVgo bounces back tomorrow. Let's take a look at EVgo. I haven't looked at that stock in forever. I hope that's yep. There it is. Wow. I know this one was a spec. Look at that. You see, this is the beautiful thing that used to happen with SPACs was, oh my God, deal, boom, gap up 64%. We would just literally, you'd buy SPACs and you just sit on them in hopes that you get a deal and it just pop. And that's what happened here. It just popped. I think this is one that Shamat's a part of. Socio Capital is doing like the pipe or something, or did the pipe. I imagine this is a lockup situation happened or a warrant situation. Something happened here. EVgo recharge 20 acquires Recargo for 25 million. I don't know what's going on here. And as you see here, Weeble's news isn't good enough to tell me what is next. So I'm going to go to Benzinga, see what they can tell me what happened. Got earnings coming up, which is not going to be interesting here. There it is. And that's the timing of second quarter earnings is coming in. Okay. That's confirmed. Something has to have happened. So you go to ECC filings. Okay, so you have form effect. This is not, there it is, S1, secondary offering. That's what's causing your stock to drop. On August 2nd, they did an offering. This is what happens with this. This is what people got so mad at me for yesterday. I got so much flack on Twitter yesterday for this. Let me show you. We are family, so I share what happens with me on the show, and we're all friends. So I'll show you here. By the way, these are some calls that Sung dropped in the chat in the kind of in the Discord today. But making money, Apple calls did very well, and you got to sell them. These are scalps, right? That we're printing. We're making cash. Monet. I want to show you the tweet. SEC filing came through for Lucid Motors, an S1. No, I'm sorry, it's not an S1 because it's an S1. Yep, S1 came in, and I was like, offering. And this is what it is. This is an S1 that happened to this stock. The S1 goes into effect, the stock price falls. People got furious at me for saying, I was like, what? Are we adults here? What are we doing? We're adults. We're allowed to talk. I literally said Lucid offering ? Emoji eyes emoji. Because it's something to keep in mind. You want to know what's going on with your stock in the back of your head. SEC, for example, if you were an EVgo and you knew that this filing existed and it was coming up, you'd sell, and then when it comes down lower, you'd buy it back in for cheaper. As you can see here, the stock price is showing you. If you sold at 15, you bought back at 9, you could almost bought about a little bit less than 2x the number of shares. Let's see EVgo's pattern of when they filed. See, look, the S1 came out on 7/20 and went to effect on 8/2. So it's not like they sit on these things for a while. So be careful. I have nothing to gain. It's not FUD. I'm just telling you that it exists. So people don't think I'm lying. I'll show you here on the FCC website. Here's the S1 prospectus. It hasn't filed yet. It could fairly soon. Whenever it could file in 6,000 years from now. So just keep that in mind. It's there. And that's what happens to stocks when S1s go into effect. Yeah, Kadir, I saw that massive movement on Btnx. Okay, let's see. MRNA thoughts. I just gave my thoughts on MRNA. I think it's getting way more risky the higher we go. I don't like its movement up here. It's way too high, in my opinion. Even if they're performing miracles, it's way too high. I'm also on EVGO, bought the dip that kept dipping. Yeah, see, this is what happens. Until that S1 closes, Lee, it's going to get ugly and uglier. That's how it is. I'll show you another one. A stock that I'm in right now that's doing the same thing. It's I think it was Maps, Weed Maps did a very similar thing. Let's pull up the SEC filing. I want to double check. And Maps did this, but I think I'm 95% sure they did it. Here, Effect S1 again on the 8th, and then they filed it on the 20th, 21st. So these things, the SPACs don't sit on these things. They jump in on them. They do it, and look, the stock dropped. So you can get it for cheap. You can keep that in mind to get the stock for cheap. Because now I'm very lucky with Maps. I bought it when it was SSPK for $10 a share before it had a target. So I'm fine with holding it, and I bought more. But I'm saying it's always good to keep that in mind. Your SEC filings are your gold. CRSR, let's talk about it. I know a lot of people know that I like CRSR. I have a big position in CRSR, and it took a hit. I don't know why it took a hit. I don't know what's going on, but I can take a look at Benzinga and tell you. I'm to the point with CRSR where I don't look at it on a day-to-day basis anymore. If it's low and I see the markets are red and it's cheaper, I buy more. But here we go. Earnings were released today before market open. Let's see what the earnings were. I imagine not great or very good, and it just fell based off of that. But let's see. Earnings were released today before market open. So this is today's Wednesday. Today's Tuesday. There's no. Oh, those are SEC filings. Genius. There it is. Okay, here we go. Misses by 3 cents. Sales were beat. Cool. Guidance was a guidance of 1.9 to 2.1 versus 2.02. So essentially reduced guidance. It looks like net revenue range of outlook remains unchanged from Q1. Okay, so essentially it's unchanged, which is fine, which is completely fine. Fall after misses sales, soft sales forecast. Look, it's okay. I'm fine with this falling. It's all right. You're seeing a bit of a bounce in the after hours. It's going to go into oversold a bit here, so you'll see it bounce. You got to give it time. This candle is a outlier candle. It's a momentum candle that happened here. It is what it is. Some companies will get beat up on earnings that are bad, that are good, whatever. You can't estimate earnings that way. You can't really tell which way they're going to go anymore. It used to be when good earnings happened, it would just run up. Yeah, we'll have to see. Joel says Hood is still running. Let's see. It's becoming a momentum play at this point. Look at this. It's becoming a momentum day traders play at this point. We can go to something like a 5-minute chart. And you can see on the 5-minute. Yeah, you add here at 43. You sell at 51. This is the thing. Like this would be so juicy to play options on. Like right here, this candle formation. Boom. We know you're going down. We know you're going down. Buy some puts here. Let the Discord know we're buying puts here. Buy some puts down. Sell some here. Sell some here. Sell some up here for a little less than what you paid for. But we could play calls. But again, by this time the market's closed, so you can't do much. But man, this is juicy. Play calls on here on the bounce confirmation of the mean as support right here on this candle. Buy some calls, run it up. You get very lucky with this candle. You get the heck out. Options on Thursday, I believe. I hope so. I'd love to play some options on Robin. Okay, you're also on CRS. Okay, so I see what you mean. You're having a rougher week. I'm in CRSR too. I totally get it. Fiverr. Let's go. Fiverr. FVRR. I think they reported earnings recently, or they're reporting earnings. Something's going on in terms of earnings for Fiverr. FVRR. Again, by the way, reminder one last time. If you'd like to learn how to do technical analysis, you want to be part of the private Discord, private trading team, access to my course that teaches you the psychology of money, psychology of trading, how to trade, technical analysis. You can go here to ryanstocks.com, linked in the description, click on the Patreon, sign up for the Patreon, connect your Discord, and you'll be in our private Discord. You'll get access to everything, bing, bang, boom. It's worth it. Also, if you'd like to follow me on Twitter, that's also available too. I'm trying to get the Instagram going too. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, that'll be fun as well. Webull, by the way, the trading platform they're using here, it's 100% free. But if you'd like to sign up and trade with it, you can. You get 2 free stocks. You're depositing $5. Used to be 100, now it's $5. So keep that in the back of your head. Fiverr is reporting in 2 days. All right, Fiverr, interesting. How did they do last time? Calendar, show me the calendar. Surprise, they did very good. Okay, Confirmed on the 5th. Okay. I'm not huge on Fiverr. I'm not huge on the gig platform-based apps anymore. I used to be very big on them. As you can see here, during COVID, they did fantastic, like most other things. And now they're coming crashing down a bit. But looks like on last earnings, it beat and it just did very well. So could the same thing happen again? You're having this very similar pattern formation where it comes down into earnings and then runs back up on it, or just rips through down, and we'll see. We'll have to definitely see how that plays out. Amazon seemed to have woken up. Let's take a look at Amazon. I haven't looked at them in a while since that fall. I just didn't care. All right, 1% day. All right, cool. Gap down. Ugly, right? I'm not used to seeing Amazon and these kind of stocks kind of like gap down. It's really weird to see this kind of drops on something like Amazon. Ugly fall, ugly fall. But you're meeting resistance here at the fib level. Take a look at this. The 33.72. Went to a high of 33.91, but again, 10, 20 bucks on a stock that's $3,000 doesn't, still rejected resistance. It needs to get over that. It needs to get over that hump. It needs to get back up there. It'll take time. Rightfully so. The stock is insanely overvalued at the $37 area. And if you come back here, this is where it essentially was trading for a long time. It was this bottom area, and that's fine. I think Amazon around 28 to 3 is a good area to add, in my opinion. Again, my opinion. Let's see. Got a few more. Anyone in PaySafe? No, I'm not in PaySafe. I hear so much about PaySafe. They used to be a SPAC, Foley SPAC. I'm forgetting the gentleman's first name, something Foley. I hated the structure of the SPAC. It was so much debt. It was billions of dollars of debt. So I was like, I don't want to touch this. I'm not a big fan of it. But look at that. Not good. This is the thing about SPACs. What I'm getting to mentally now with SPACs, I'm not going to add them anymore until a lockup ends, a secondary offering goes through, or warrants get called in, because it's just heartbreaking to sit through this where you could be up 100% at 1957. Some people don't sell, expecting it to keep going up. The companies could be fantastic and they could still get a beating. And we're seeing that. We saw that with EVgo. We're seeing that now with PaySafe, how it's playing out. So I'm being very cautious when it comes to SPACs now. But yeah, Amazon we just did, but let's take a look at Google. I know for a fact I've never looked at Google on this channel, because Google is just a stock that's outside of my price range, and not many retail traders buy into Google. But this thing is, look at this, is like a beautiful stock. Like consolidation, gap up, not gap up, but move up, consolidation, move up, consolidation, move up, consolidation, move up. It's just been, look, it's just essentially been riding the top of the Bollinger Band. Not much volatility. Look at how close these bands are. Look at how close the bands become. Volatility is not much there. It's a beautiful stock. It's one of those stonks that only goes up kind of stonks, but it's a great stock. It's just a great company, great stock. They're doing great things. They're doing it. YouTube, we're on the platform right now. This is their streaming platform. So definitely something to keep an eye on. By the way, there are 204 of you in here. Why is the like button not at 100? Hit that like button. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Let's hit that like button. That was our deal. If you're going to ask for a stock, you got to hit the like button, or else next time I won't be able to do it for you. I won't be able to. Let's do it. Can you please review all? Sure. All the stocks in the world, or just ticker symbol? Allstate. Okay. You're in good hands with Allstate. They have cool commercials. They have that guy, I think it's the guy from Spider-Man that does the commercials for Allstate. Or he used to. J.K. Simmons, J.K. something, I don't know. Terrible names. You got resistance right here. The mean is lining up exactly with the 23.6 fib level. You're in an upward trend still. You almost broke into a downward trend here, but you didn't. You did very well. The dividend payout happened. When dividend payouts happen, stocks tend to dip, but then they slowly regain their value. But you're essentially trading sideways and consolidating here. You could level up. Just looking based off of your RSI looks good today, but again, you need volume. You need something to move this. But you had a massive move from 100 to 140. It needs to cool off. It's only cooled off $10 in the grand scheme of things. The lowest it cooled off to was $20. So it needs to cool off a bit. It had a massive move from the beginning of the year until now. Massive move into May. So yeah, be careful. Good luck. All strong in group. It's in consolidation. Exactly. You want me to look at Hood again? Sure, we'll take a look at Hood one more time. It's doing its thing. Kathy Wood won. Everyone was calling Kathy Wood an idiot. Everyone was writing her off. She won. They knew something. God bless them, man. I love the ARK funds so much. You guys can make fun of me as much as you want. I love the ARK funds. I'm so happy because everyone. This is the thing about the world, right? Bobby, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for subscribing. This is the heartbreaking thing is in the world where you're kind of watching people, everyone was rooting for Kathy Wood in 2020. Oh my God, 100%. All the funds are outperforming. She's a genius. And then the funds start coming down and everyone's like, boo, boo. Kathy Wood sucks. Come on, bro. Come on. Pick a side. Pick a side. I'm not going to get into it, but I root for Kathy Wood and their team because I like them and I own the ARKW fund in my IRA. So, haha, joke's on you. We won today. Hood's killing it. Hood's killing it. I hope Kathy would sell some. I hope he scale some out. Come on, darn it. You know how these IPOs work. Scale some out. Stock's up essentially 35%. Sell some. Talking to Kathy Wood, not you guys. Bobby, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. If you guys want to help, you can help. I have a YouTube channel I run as well with live streams and all that stuff. You go to ryanstocks.com. Yeah, hit this. You can subscribe. We've got videos that come out essentially weekly now. We're so close to we're about 10 away, I think, at this point from 4,000 subscribers. So if you guys want to help me get there, that'd be really cool. Any view on SPC? I don't like that company much, to be honest with you. I don't see their business model flourishing ever. It's such a niche product. It's kind of like if you guys ever remember the App Store, there used to be an app with a diamond on it called like a rich app, and like it was like 10 grand, and rich people would buy it. Just be like, all right, I got the app on my phone. I'm rich. Here's proof. Yeah, that's where I see SPC at. It took a beating on that offering after the great launch. They had a bit of a beating when the offering came in. I don't know exactly which candle it was, but it was one of these two. And now it's kind of bottomed out and it's consolidating sideways for a bit here, which is cool. It wants to curl up. Let me see the weekly chart. Weekly chart's not showing too much love. But again, look, this mean area, the $30 area, is kind of where your resistance is, your $30, $31 area. And you can see that on the chart. It wants to break above it. It wants to get there. But it just can't. It needs to get there. Just subscribe. Can you please explain your chart studies you have? Nance, sure. It's technical analysis was what I'm doing here. It's a lot for me to teach you here in this live stream, but in order for me to do that, what I offer is through my Patreon, I have a course where you can kind of sign up and get for free. Not for free, but you sign up for the course, you sign up for the Patreon, the Google and Tesla tier, you get the course for free. Day Trading Professors in the chat. What is going on? Day Trading Professor is a fantastic show on Instagram. Definitely go follow him on Instagram. He's got a really, really great show. I had the pleasure of being on, had a lot of fun talking to him for about 30 minutes. It was awesome. Professor, welcome to the show. Capital. Okay, this is interesting. This is very interesting. Capital One. I have a story for you on Capital One because my father banks with Capital One, my dad. And we went to one day where he goes like, I want to go pull some cash out of the bank. And I was like, all right, let's go. And the bank was not there. The bank was not there. I was like, what are they doing? Are they just closing banks now left and right? It was a little bit terrifying. It was like, it's a run on the banks. But if you look at Capital One, you're in consolidation phase as well. The banks are interesting. The banks will be funny until we get some information on interest rates. So keep that in mind. Ronnie, appreciate you. Ronnie, you're also on the Patreon. Shout out to you. Shout out to Ronnie for being a part of the Patreon. I really appreciate you, Ronnie. You're awesome. Hit me up. I have no clue what your name is in the Discord. If you're Ronnie Clark on the Discord or the Patreon, shoot me a DM. Let's chat. That's awesome. Thank you so much for supporting. You big red candle today. You guys know I like big red candles and big green candles. So let's see. There it is. There it is. What did I tell you, folks? What did I tell you? What did I tell you about IPOs? They're fun till they're not. They're fun till they're not. They run up and they come down. Drop 16%. Now, look, it's recovering a bit in the after hours, plus 4%. If you bought at $38, you're not sweating at all. But this is the thing. You'll always have opportunities to get into IPO stocks. DIPO, you've seen Coinbase. That one is ugly. But, again, be very careful with these. Clear is an interesting business model. At Benzinga, what do you think is going to happen to AMD this week? I think I'm not Benzinga, I'm Ryan, but I'll be happy to answer the question on behalf of Benzinga. I almost put my name in the chat. I'm an idiot. Let's see. AMD is interesting. AMD's kind of been like an infinite loop. Remember I discussed with you folks a little bit earlier that you can kind of ride the Bollinger Bands up. This is a perfect example. Take a look at this. It's riding the Bollinger Band up. You saw where we were here. We're expecting it to fall. It came down, essentially sort of bounced before it hit the bottom of the bull, consolidated. Now it's kind of been running up. You can intraday trade this with calls and puts. I can show you here, like on a 3-minute. That's what we do in the Discord a lot. Is we intraday trade it on calls and puts. You buy calls, puts, calls, puts, calls, puts. So you can definitely do that, and you're going to be able to make a good amount of money scalping this for sure. So it can only go up so much for so long, because right now I don't know why it's running so hard. It doesn't make sense. I can look at Nvidia, the stock that kind of moves it up with this one. I don't know what happened just there, but okay, I guess I went to the wrong one. Nvidia. Nvidia has not been running. Nvidia's going back to its pre-split values. It's essentially just $10 short of it, which is interesting because I wasn't expecting it to hold this value for much longer. But again, the chip shortage is doing its thing. It's quite interesting, Anthony. I'm not sure. It's a super overvalued phenomenon that's going on right now, which is quite weird. My pleasure, Day Trade Professor. Thank you so much for coming on board, Professor. You're awesome. CEMI, the verdict is in. What verdict? Chem Bio. Okay. You had a great day, a 30% day. Congratulations. These are bio, so I don't know what happened. I don't know why it went up. Chris says, I wish I could buy puts on Hood. No options yet. Yeah, options will be coming soon. Skills had good earnings meant nothing. Yeah, exactly. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? It's stupidly funny, but you get a good earnings and just zilch. That's kind of the way that we're in. That's kind of the unfortunate space that we're in right now. My AMD puts are printing. You had 114s. Congratulations. I think you're in the money right now, right? Let me just double check if I remember correctly. You're out the money, but you're not in the money yet. But you hit into the money at a certain point, and I imagine you sold. Congratulations. It's running because of the fifth wave, Elliott wave. I'm not big on Elliott waves, but I'll take your word for it. AMD has an amazing earnings and breakout. Cup and handle. Final target is 117 per my chart. Okay, let's see why 117. Are you doing I think you're doing this. Hold on. You're probably doing an extension. It doesn't show me the bands in between, but there should be another band here, the 123 and the 138. I imagine the 138 is 117. So let me know. Let me know, Miles. I imagine that's what you're seeing there, but it needs to cool off or it will crash. Look at this. You're in RSI of 83. You can go to an RSI of 100, but you're getting up into dangerous territories right now. That worries me. QCOM 160 soon. I hope so. I own QCOM. Let's see. QCOM, not looking so hot. Look at that. You've ripped above. You gapped up essentially on earnings. Now it's kind of cooling off. It needs to consolidate a bit. Let it trade sideways for a bit, and I could see it legging up again, but it needs to get there. QCOM fell pretty hard here on these earnings. We were doing so good. But fell, traded down for a while, traded sideways forever. Now it's slowly trying to make its way back up. Verdict is in. We just want to see it. Okay, FDA approval. Congratulations. Kadir just did QCOM. We got QCOM on the screen right now. It needs to consolidate. AMD going much higher. Yeah, AMD's. I don't know about 150, Jeffrey. I don't know. Like, this is the thing. Can it go to 150 soon? Sure. But if you beeline to 150, let me show you what happens. If you beeline to 150, that's here. The chart has never been there ever. Like, we can go to like a monthly chart. The chart's you're at in all-time highs. Like, we've never been this high before. You don't want anything to just run up like that. It's dangerous. It can cause massive drops. So you can be buying it up and up and up, and you just tank. And you don't want that. See, all right, cool. I got to wrap it up, folks. I'm getting the wrap it up signal. Folks, thank you so much for watching this show. I appreciate you. Thank you all so much for coming on board and spending time with me on the stream. I appreciate you all. Again, if you'd like to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter. Just go to ryanstocks.com. You can see it here on the screen. You can click this button to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. If you'd like to sign up for Benzinga Pro, I got you that awesome deal for 30% off for life. Click it. Sign up with the promo code RyanR. Ryan R. One word, all caps, 30% off for life. You can definitely do that. Also, if you'd like to learn this technical analysis that I'm doing here, it's provided via the Patreon Discord. I got course videos that I'm adding to weekly now, to the point where I'm kind of losing my mind. I'm adding weekly there, so I'd appreciate that if you'd sign up there and support. We got weekly options, stocks, you name it, it's in there. And last but not least, my favorite one, the YouTube channel. If you'd like to subscribe to my YouTube channel as well, if you aren't subscribed, looks like we hit 4K. Thank you. That's all I'll confirm here. But thank you so much for your consistent support, for your consistent viewership. You guys are all amazing. We are 3 away from 4K, but thank you so much. You folks are amazing. And on your way out, listen to Paulina, hit the like button, subscribe to the Benzinga channel, do what you got to do. Let's do it. I love this channel, love this program, love you folks. Have a great day or night whenever you're watching this. Bye-bye. Peace.